Hey there, good morning. This is your host, Jeff Ski Kinsey at Fast Charge Energy. That's also the website, fastchargeenergy.com. And this morning, I was watching a good video, perhaps even a great video, by Tom at this YouTube channel called State of Charge. And Tom is a master of explanation, of conveying somewhat complex concepts. And today, he recently, as he mentions in this video, I'll include a link in the show notes, he mentioned he did a show a few weeks ago on adapters for EV charging. Well, today he was showing off the very first of its kind, an adapter to allow non-Tesla vehicles to use a Tesla supercharger. So I don't want to give you any spoilers here, but you're going to want to watch it. And again, Tom is just thorough. It's one of the few guys that I actually follow with great interest. Do I always agree with Tom? No, I don't always agree with myself. How could I agree with? But he's definitely one of the good guys, and he's got the ear of the industry, which is extremely important. That he's not a bot dog of the industry. He has a lot of respect, so I suggest you check it out. But where I want to take this conversation this morning is the fact that you can buy your $100,000 top of the line EV, let's say a Lucid, or you can deck out maybe a Model S or X Tesla, spend a lot of money, and still have a glove box full of adapters, or your frunk, or a hidden compartment in your trunk with all these adapters so that you can actually get from point A to point B. Okay? And that, to me, okay, give your head a shake. This is like the year 2023. Okay? As I think Tom points out in the video, the Tesla Roadster, I'd forgot, had come out in 2008. Okay? Of course, it had its own plug, and Tesla said, well, we can do better, so all the cars since the Roadster has a different plug. But this is a complex subject, and it doesn't have to be. And towards that end, Tesla has announced what we call NACS, NACS, the North American Charging Standard connector and cable, so that you can go anywhere and charge anywhere. Now, how refreshing would that be? But let's diverge for one moment, okay? Why is this so important at this particular moment in time? Well, here's why. Because EVs are quickly, I've heard differing numbers, that the tipping point or the crossing the chasm is somewhere between 13 and 17% market share. Okay? In June of this year, we passed 10% of all new vehicles sold in the U.S. and most of the world. 10% were EVs. And that's expected to double in the next 3 years. I don't think it will even take 2 years for that to double, not in the U.S. So we're closing in on that tipping point. And so that's why this is coming to a head. Because for adoption by the masses, okay, the people on the other side of the chasm, as Jeffrey Moore points out in his book, Crossing the Chasm, okay, for main wholesale adoption, we need a standard, okay? It's like you go to any store or online, wherever you want, in the U.S., the U.S. of A., and you buy something, some kind of electric-powered component, device, widget, whatever for your house, guess what? You don't worry about will it work. Okay, we have this standard 110 volt AC alternating current plug in everybody's house across America. You plug the thing in, it just works. You buy a new TV, you don't say, geez, I didn't intend on spending this kind of money, on a big screen TV. I mean, oh my goodness. I've seen them as low as $212 for a big screen TV. I didn't expect to spend all this money and then have to research whether or not the plug is going to work. Okay, you don't want to spend that kind of money on an EV and say, well, how do I get it charged? Well, what you really don't want to do is buy an EV and then find out you cannot charge it very many places. And that's what's happened to a lot of people in the EV space that don't understand how important the Tesla supercharger network is. In fact, think about this. Are you sitting down? It's so important that Ford, General Motors, and others, Rivian and others, have said, we want to adopt your standard. We want to be able to charge our vehicles at your charger. And Elon said, sure, let's figure out how to make that work. Hey, if I can help, reach out. You have not because you ask not. It really is that simple.